Oh my god. It's a Sunday. It is a Sunday from the wow. I just ran 5 miles today and I injured my ankle, but it was a really good run. So I'm just gonna start this vlog by saying that I feel really grateful of today, this week, and what happened in the past. There has been a lot of discovering, a lot of understanding, a lot of conversations, a lot of work, a lot of writing, a lot of changes that is going on, and a lot of changes that are gonna still happen for the greater future. But we're here. I just wanna make this vlog because this is the first time that I ever script a video, and I wanna break down this video in what I did did here pretty much, which is just me explaining how I started reading and those sort of things. Like again, this is the first time I ever script the video. I don't have anything specific here to say. I just have a couple of topics here that I'm trying to get into. Just take a sip of coffee. But happy Sunday. We're in July. We're in June. I'm sorry. We're about to be in July. Second half of the year. So let's just make this happen. This is the third blog that I'm gonna do, but the first one that I ever scripted. So let's just make it happen. So this is a book-based video. The reason why I wanted to make a book-based video is because what greatness of average is, what I'm trying to build for my brand, it is based on what I have learned with the books that I've read. So in the last 4 years, what I've been doing is reading a whole bunch of books and a whole bunch of topics. And because I have read a whole bunch of books, I have looked up so many people. I have a lot in my head. There is a lot of knowledge that needs to be released out of me. There's a lot of me that wants to guide and wants to become my own guider. I'm not sure if that makes sense, but I'll explain it now. So I started reading 4 years ago, and I started reading because I remember I was in a bookstore and I saw a book with a title that was something that I was talking about earlier that week. And because I used to not to talk to so many people, that conversation was really fresh in my head. And I was like, oh shit, this book, I was talking about this the other day, so I might just, well, buy this book because it is a topic that I'm interested in. Because I used to write sometimes back then. I was like, you know what? I should get into books because I should get into books. Let's see how it goes. And ever since I started reading 4 years ago, it was life changing for me, but more spiritually than anything else that I ever thought I was gonna become when I started reading. And I started reading because I also started reading because one, even though I was in school, I was not doing much because I was only in school because I wanted to play basketball, and that didn't work out pretty well. And by the time I was basically finishing up with my basketball career, was pretty much the same time I started reading. So it wasn't a good time when I picked up my first book. I pretty much needed it. And the journey from reading, from the time I started to now, has been an amazing journey. It has been something that I would call life changing, but it's gonna be now more life changing because now I understand the power of reading in abundance from one topic and one topic only. I processed all the books that I ever read through AI, and despite the 100 and plus 150 books that I ever read, more than 50 books were self development and improvement. And ever since I started reading all of these books, I always my imagination expanded, my way of thinking expanded, my provoking sense of being expanded. And as a man, I see it life changing because books is a way of looking for something else with a leadership that this person is telling you that he's following. And that's pretty much how it has been with my experience reading. I have I have to be honest, most of the time that I was reading I was not doing anything. I was just reading because I wanted to read. But now that I understand that part is when I started changing topics of what I'm reading. Before it used to be a lot of self improvement. I don't need self improvement anymore. What I need is book about finances, book about writings, book about any sort of endeavor that I'm currently doing, and also some fiction. Because when you read a book and you're doing fiction, there's a lot of things that are going on at the same time for your brain to process. And because it's a natural selection of us thinking about, of us thinking while we're reading, and that spark of imagination happens, is why I want to stop. Is why I stopped reading self-development, self-improvement books, and now I'm into more of real life experiences, real insight of me trying something that are new to me. Ay, I'm sweating here. And I got the AC on. I'm nervous. I got a camera in front of me. I'm nervous as fuck. Anyway, ever since those 4 years, ever since I started reading, I saw how complex and simple it is to gain knowledge. I saw how I have experienced how powerful it is for us to absorb knowledge, apply knowledge, and feed people with new knowledge. So, with these videos, with the writing that I'm doing, with every single idea that I'm making now, I want people to feel the same thing that I'm feeling while I'm doing it. So, I want you, throughout this video, I want you to make you feel what I have felt when I speak about reading and my experience with reading. Because I have a unique perspective about reading only because it was not as influenced as the average person is when I was growing up. So when I grew up, when I was growing up, my teenage year, and I was a kid, no one around me was much of a book reader. The only book that people used to read back then was just the Bible. I'm mind you, I'm just 25 years old. This is how my culture, my the people that I grew out, the people that I grew up with, is shaped. There is nothing wrong with that. It's just how I grew up. And now that I see reading, I see the expansion of myself throughout the unknown, throughout throughout what is not visible through the naked eye, where you have to think a lot and think more deeper and ask even more questions that what we are used to asking. And in this chapter that are and in this chapter now, in the chapter that I am of my journey of reading, of my reading journey, yeah, that's how I should say it. Of my reading journey, I could say that based on what I'm gonna read now, based on what I'm currently reading, is how my next steps are gonna look like because I have read so much already that I know I'm ready for a lot of action. I know I'm ready to do this. I know I'm ready to spread information. I know I'm ready to teach the information that I dominate the most because there is a lot that I know. Like I can speak to people about how I started reading and my journey to reading, but from a specific topic, I might get lost because it's a process for us to absorb knowledge and then teach that knowledge. And when you teach the knowledge, you are expressing yourself, and this right here is me trying to express what I'm trying to understand myself, and what I'm also trying to teach, and what I'm also trying to represent with the brand that I'm creating. So this is what this abundance of knowledge have taught me so far. And now that I'm trying, now that ca- I just started with the categorization of each of the topics that I'm reading, is when I'm currently in a position where I have to cut out time for reading to make time for action. That doesn't mean that I'm not reading, but it means that I'm reading less than what I used to read. It means that now the hobby of reading is more of a is more of a it's more of a study section that I have, for say it like that. Even if it's fiction, I treat it as a therapy section, as a structure, as an entertainment as well, because I have fun while I'm reading. I'm having fun reading. I'm imagining things that I never thought I could imagine because I'm reading. Excuse me. And having my imagination flow like that, it makes me it makes my mind not wander, but it makes my mind more reflective towards what I'm doing. Because even if it's fiction, there is something about fiction that it has a lot of reflections in the real life, you know, and that's really interesting because I never mentioned this to anybody, but thanks to my brother, I started watching anime. I don't know how to say a word in English, and I watched Hunter x Hunters by myself. My brother made me watch the Vinland Saga, and I really liked it. And I watched by myself Hunters x Hunters, and the amount of imagination that is being created in this single anime is so real that the only difference between the actions that are going on in that show, in that anime, and in real life are just the literal course of what can we accomplish in real life. There is not a single there is not a single thing that I was watching there that I couldn't reflect in my real life. And that made me open my eyes a lot because I was like, oh shit, this is really entertaining, but I could see behind the structure of how the creator of this made it. I see their point. There is a lot of, I don't know if that's the point they were trying to make, but that's the point that I'm watching because of how much I have read and how much I imagine. I see these fictitious things, these things that is for kids, and I reflect them a lot in real life. And the only difference is that that's, as a matter of fact, I don't know how to explain good the difference, but there is not much a difference. There is not much. If you have a deep pattern of being thinking a lot and understanding how patterns works and understanding how literal this type of shows show us who are we, what are we capable of, how are we able to evolve, how are we able to retract, all of these type of details. Yeah, I think people would be surprised if they understand or they are as deep thinkers as they think they are. I'm just mentioning that I'm a deep thinker, but I know for sure that it's going to be someone else that is going to make me challenge my thinking. This is the kind of people that I'm kind of looking for because the only one that I feel like could challenge my way of thinking now is ChatGPT because he's so fucking deep, he's so fucking complex, he's so fucking detailed that someone might get lost with some shit that I say. And now go coming back to what I have written here. All of this reading brings me to abundance of knowledge. I already mentioned this, which makes me go and try new things that I haven't done before. Now, because I have an abundance of knowledge and I didn't have no structure, now it's the time for me to structure. Now it's time for me to get to structure myself with these little projects that I'm doing. I have the YouTube channel, I have the newsletter, I have the WhatsApp channel, I have some fiction things coming up, I have some competitions coming up, I have a lot of things coming up that they require the structure that books have taught me. And because I'm an open book myself, I'm an open book myself of how we accomplish things. I want to show this on camera. I want people to actually understand what do you have to go through before you get something on the board. Because there is a gap of mindsets, there is a gap of leadership, there is a gap of skills and thinking patterns. This is really important, thinking patterns. Uh, Lack of skills, too much knowledge, too little action. Yeah, so throughout the 4 years that I've been reading, I have been reading a lot and not making too many actions. But I don't have excuses for this, but I think I have my own way of looking at things because even though I feel like I haven't made enough actions, I know I am way more advanced than most people are in my age only because of my mindset. Now, I'm not saying that I'm ahead of them, but what I'm saying is because of how much I have studied myself, because of how much I have studied other people, because of how much I have read so many books, the long term of meaning, the long term of understanding the entire process, but also be present and enjoying the process. I be having it from a long time now because throughout all of this time I have built myself like nobody has, or that at least no one that I know of. And I'm not saying this because I wanna make myself look good, but I say this in a way that I have to I have been able to take so much time for myself to learn about myself that the knowledge and the deep thinking pattern that I get out of myself is way, way, way too long and too big compared to someone who does not spend enough time with their thinking pattern, their thought process, their own thought, their own emotions, and all those type of things that has to do with the inner part of yourself. Like I'm doing all of this not because I want to get famous, not because I want people to recognize me, not because I want people to respect me. I do want those things, but it's not the main purpose. I'm here, I'm doing this because I want to use this form of expression as a hobby. I want to use the of expression as showing someone throughout the internet that this is possible, that a lot of things are possible, that most of the things that we see that are a big deal, they are actually not that much of a big deal when we are doing them. It's just happening. It's just when you get to increase your self-worth, you get to live and feel and present and being able to be present in the life of your dreams. And I know this because I have experienced this, and but I also know this because I know people that are completely different than me, in other chapter of lives where they are good financially and they are great emotionally, and spiritually they are completely aligned because they took care of their first two necessities, which is their excuse me their status by their economic resources and their spiritual guidance. And when I see people and how spiritual they are successful, I get to think of myself. So it's not about the money they're making right now. It's about the hobbies or the things that you have to do to make things work. That's what is it about. That's what is it about the most. Because okay, we do want money, we do want financial stability, we do want all of these things, but if we only have these things in mind, we are going to do it for the sake and purpose of financial stability, which is nothing wrong, but he gave us another. It's not a funnel for us to follow, and it will make us feel good about it. It will make us feel good, but there is a gap between financial and spirituality. And what I have developed the most is spirituality before I build up my financials, which I see a really smart move because once I start receiving or once I start scaling through the next level, I know my spiritual self of being is gonna be alright. I know it's gonna be aligned. I know that I know how to make sure I align myself without the resource of money, without the resource of the goods that money will bring. And now something that I actually observed from them, from these type of people, is that they do have money, they do have all of these things, but it's more of a resource to keep accomplishing their dreams. So their dream, their vision is never, it's always to get more money, but it's not their main source. The main source is to follow the ideals and the vision they have in their head. Their main source is to just follow what is their passion. Now, it's not that they're gonna follow their passion and they're not gonna take care of anything else, because people like me who grew up in scarcity, we have to build this up from scratch. Then for me, it is more it is more of a common sense to start building my spirituality from scratch, and and being able to sustain from it enough, and then build up my financial stability. Now, with financial stability, a lot of literacy has to come with financials. Financial literacy we have to have. And that is I don't want to say that is my next step, because finance is a finance is a topic that I've been into, but I haven't been applying it as well. But it's something that now that I think of, and it's like, okay, so my relationship with my finance is as similar as is my relationship with my spirit. And That is a fact. That is what I've noticed. That is what I've noticed from people. And I grew up broke. There's no shame on that. My family didn't come from money. We just straight hard work. So what I have to make sure is from this hard work that I'm doing, I follow a passion with dedication that I get to connect spiritually. So then in the future, I get some results out of it. And then because I got some results, I keep chasing the next vision that I have, not the next not the next dollar. It's the next vision, not the next not the next dollar, because the vision is gonna attract all the dollars. The dollar is not gonna attract another dollar, but the vision that I have for that dollar, that idea, is gonna attract way many more dollars than a dollar itself. Let me make you an example. So I'm a writer, and let's say I'm gonna write a sales page. I wanna make money, and I wanna write a sales page. I wanna do copywriting. I wanna do all of these type of things, right? If I start freelancing, I'm gonna exchange my time and skills for money. I'm gonna be chasing the money. I'm gonna be chasing the money, which is something good, but in my head, I'm not just chasing money. I'm building up the momentum. I'm building up experience. I'm building up enough work for me to say in the future, oh shit, I can make a business out of this. And then I get to keep thinking, so I'm a writer. I have an income. I'm making an income out of freelancing by doing sales page, by doing copywriting, any of those sorts. But I'm a deep thinker, so I can write a book. I could keep writing my newsletter. I could make videos like this about how I write, what is my perspective about writing, and teach it about writing. Yes, I can do this. I'm making it. I'm doing it. But and the difference here is that with the freelancing, I'm chasing the money. But I'm not thinking of chasing the money. What I'm thinking is I'm chasing the experience to keep building momentum. I want to get paid regardless, but I can't just be preoccupied of getting paid. I have to be preoccupied to be good enough to get paid. And then I start scaling. I start keep going though. I start keep bringing new ideas that instead of me doing the work, I develop a system where I teach other people how to do the work for me. Simple as that. Now that is just me speaking. That all of this is just metaphorically. I'm not speaking some facts that I have done before because some of these things I have tried it, but I haven't done it as consistently as some people have. Like I haven't made my first dollar out of writing. I'm gonna make it, but I haven't made it yet. And that used to be something that I used to be really 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 embarrassed of, but now I'm just like fuck it. If I haven't made my single dollar, it's not the end of the world. I'm gonna make it regardless. I'm just keep practicing, and I just gotta keep writing. That's my spirit. And to finish this is just my greatness of average vision. This is just what I have planned for the future because with greatness of average, I build up a philosophical thinking, which is something that I relate to my deep thinking because I'm a deep thinker. And because I'm a deep thinker, I could be a deep talker too. And I'm here practicing my deep thinking with my deep talking and with my thinking pattern as a philosopher. So I'm not looking at this as I'm gonna make videos and get 100 followers up, but I'm looking at this as I'm gonna make videos to shape my philosophical thinking and keep shaping my deep thinking with deep talking. Simple as that. And because I'm doing all of this, I'm expressing myself. Because I'm expressing myself. The more I express myself, the more I understand my vision. And And the more I understand my vision, the more I get to be a leader of myself. The more I get to follow my own gut, my own intuition. Simple as that. And this gave me self structure. If I build something from scratch, I could just help anyone build something from scratch. And most people, when they're building something, they get something out of someone else. And I'm building this out of my own thinking and my own root, if you want to call it that. So this is clearly my vision for the future of Awareness of Average. I ain't got nothing else to say. This is just my third blog. I really enjoy talking. I really enjoy thinking. I really enjoy having good conversations. So I feel really comfortable. I felt really comfortable having this conversation. So I'm just gonna finish right here, and I'm gonna plan my week because it's a Sunday and I have to go to my 9 to 5. Ay, Dios. Fui morido.